Well, hello there, all the peoples on the earth. How are you doing down there? Hmm? Hmm. Well, it looks like you should be introduced to the sky and the wonders thereof. Hey, what's up, everyone? This is BroToolon. It's been quite a while since I've done anything Minecraft. I did some Paladins I think it was just last week, and figured I would show you all what's kind of going on in this world that I'm in, of Sky Factory. Don't mind the sky kind of, just kind of transitions. Let's see if we can get it, force it to go. To actually go into the light, and it'll go off, and then it comes back on. That's because of my helmet, but that's for another story. Anyways, so if you are watching, thank you very much for doing so. This is a really cool mod pack. It has all sorts of different things. As you can see, there's a lot of things that you don't recognize from traditional Minecraft. This is a really cool pack. So let's start going through some of it. And just before we get started, just to warn you, that area right over there, as you can see, my frame rate is dropping. That is big reactors, and it is definitely quite large. And it drops my frame rate big time when I go over near it and look at it. Even when I back up to it, it still does kind of. So kind of this whole kind of block over here, if I'm looking in that direction, frame rate will drop quite a bit. I'll try my best to keep from doing that. But let's get started here. Let's go ahead and start right in the middle. The beginning of this mod pack, you start on a tree, and oh, I must have turned off my transparency blocks. That must have had something to do probably with lag busting and things like that a while back. Anyway, so you start on the tree on like a single block of dirt, and then you break down the tree, and as you get the wood and you get the saplings and everything, you can start to get different items. And from those items, you eventually build an entire base up in the sky, floating above everything, above the world where all of you are living right now, because you're not in your own Sky Factory, presumably. So, anyways, this is a really cool pack. You do all sorts of things, as you can probably see. So from there, I started building a platform right down here, and sorry about the frame rate. We're just gonna have to kind of deal with it. And I eventually replaced all of this with spruce rather than than oak. Not a big fan of oak. That's what you start off with, so that's kind of what I lived with for a while. I like spruce a lot better, and then I eventually added a platform down below, which eventually became my primary base, where I've got all my equipment, all of my cool stuff for Draconic Evolution, and really, really cool mod pack, and all these things. And I have elevators that I can use to get up between them. Just space or jump to go up, and then shift, crouch to go down. So that is kind of how I started out. So let's start going through kind of the general progression of what I did. After I got started, over here I built a mob grinder, or a mob spawner, rather. I just built a big old house that eventually has become... Oh, oh, a zombie just burned up. Hi guys, bye guys. So eventually it's gotten a lot more fancified, and that stuff in there, that's cursed earth, and it makes mob spawn a lot faster. You got a mob fan to make them move, and lights to turn it off, and all of that. A little guy to automatically kill them for me, and item collection and experience collection and stuff. So that was kind of the next thing I did in order to go through this achievement book. So you start off with this book and a couple of little items, and it gives you a little introduction, and you find out how to use the book, and none of that really matters. You can read it on your own, go back and pause it if you want. But you start off with the wood age, so you go through certain things. You torque to make a sapling turn into a tree. You make dirt out of saplings, things like that. And you slowly progress through different levels, different ages, making Tinker's Construct. That's some pretty cool stuff. We'll show you that in a minute. Cobblestone generator. And you go through the Stone Age, Farming Age, Mystical Farming. I actually jumped the gun on some of this stuff. Out further, where is it? Where's the chickens? Maybe I missed it. I don't know. Anyway, somewhere there's chickens that you can spawn in that lay eggs, but also they lay items and different kinds of resources. So instead of having to farm the resources, grind them, because obviously there's no world in which to get them, you can get them different ways. One of them is through, I think it's called mystical agriculture. That one you can make seeds and stuff, and like an iron seed, diamond seed, and they spit out little essences whenever they're harvested, and you can combine those essences to make an iron bar or a diamond, that kind of stuff. So I jumped the gun though, and I went straight to chickens next. So after I did that stuff, I started breeding chickens. And as you can see, there are quite a few different types of chickens, and I have quite a lot of these quite a few types of chickens. Very organized, and they're all fed into Ender IO pipes so that they'll go straight into my system now. I don't have to come over here and manually harvest them. And a couple of just areas to do various breeding and things that I don't really use anymore because I don't need to. So like you got things like Ardite chicken. So that's something that you can use to make tools and things like that. And Cobalt chicken, Manasteel chicken. That's from what's that called over there? Botania, that kind of stuff. And there's gas tears, and back here I think there's magma cream, yeah, and lava chicken. So all sorts of different kinds of things. These are just colors. These ones, actually, these are really cool. These ones drop experience globes, and you can pick them up and you like throw them on the ground like an egg, and they give you experience. So, yeah, that was what I did with chickens. And you breed them, they get better, they get stronger, they lay more items, that kind of stuff, as you bring up their levels. I don't think, yeah, it doesn't show it. Let me grab my net, and we'll just pull one of them out for you. So, pig iron chicken. See, he is a 10-10-10. Tier 7, that's how valuable he is, basically. Growth, gain, and strength are all level 10. I don't know exactly what they all do, but it doesn't really matter too much, just that he does stuff and he's better. So I've got all of these chickens are all up at 10-10-10s. So I made sure that I spent the time getting them up to their proper level. If I do play through this again, I'm probably going to actually approach the chickens a little bit different so that it doesn't take me as long to get everything to 10-10-10s. Because you crossbreed them in order to get different materials. Like the pig iron, if I'm remembering correctly, let's see, let's actually just look that up. Pig iron chicken. Pig iron chicken. You get, by breeding, Ardite chicken and an iron chicken. And you get it, and they will lay an egg for pig iron chicken. 11% chance. So, you can get that either by breeding them normally with seeds, or you just put them in these nesting pens right next to each other, and eventually these nesting pens are like mini chests. They hold the items that they lay for your later collection, and which is why the pipes work, because they can just suck it out of it like a chest. And so they'll have a chance for laying their own type. So this one might lay a Manulin chicken, this one might lay an Ardite chicken, but if these two are compatible for crossbreeding, each one has a chance for laying whatever their crossbreed is. I don't think that these two do crossbreed, but anyway. So that was the next thing, and this is, seriously, these chickens are so OP. I mean, you can get, it takes a little while to get started, but once you get started, it's just nuts how fast your resource generation can be. But actually, all these ones back here, I had these set up for if I needed to pump out really fast a lot of a certain kind of production. I would, instead of redirecting all my eggs that I don't need to the trash can, I would take those eggs and I would hatch them in these handy-dandy little egg nests, which are used to make the nesting pens. If you didn't notice, it's kind of the same material. And so I had this entire thing full of diamond chickens, because that whole thing, crosshatch pattern. Let's see. Let's go above and look down so you can see. See that cross pattern? Every one of those is a stack or a pillar of diamond blocks. And I believe this is 48 high, and it's 32. Wait a minute. Let's see. 48. It's roughly, yeah, 32 by 32 by 48, I think, is the dimensions of that. So take that, chop it in half. That's how many diamonds I needed, and diamond blocks. And that is a lot of diamond blocks. Even with all of these nesting pens for chickens, they lay like every 5 minutes or something like that. I don't know, maybe 10, something. Even with all of those, it still took me a couple of weeks of not game time weeks, but you know, getting on, getting off to get enough diamonds. So that was kind of the next thing that I did. Then I expanded out and I started harvesting stuff. And you notice these trees have apples. These actually will let you pick apples, and there's food. So I don't actually really need much food right now because I've got a Jerkinator. It automatically feeds me beef, monster jerky, any of those things. And it'll actually grow new apples. So once I figured that out, I planted a bunch, chopped out their things, and I just have a little tree roof that has like infinite food. Really nice. So I don't have to worry about farming and crafting bread and all that kind of stuff. So, did these... Maybe the transparency got turned off out of somewhere? I don't remember these being that way too. Maybe it's just because I've looked up at the description right up top, because it shows a slightly different skin. I don't know. Anyway, so I've expanded out into wheat farms to run what is my Enderman spawner. So yeah, it spawns Enderman based off of, let's take a look at it. Foods of various kinds, or organic materials, endstone, and ender pearls. So you feed these in, and then it eventually will spawn an Enderman. So let's see. Let's turn on the, I think this was the endstone. So that should, yeah, there we go. And this is a grinder, so it kills all of them. So let's look. See, it's putting in, and it immediately transforms all of this stuff down into Enderman, and it kills a bunch of them. So that's how I was able to farm Enderman recently for something else that I'll show you in a little bit. The RF Tools Dimensions stuff, I had to get a crap ton of these guys in order to find, actually not those guys, these guys, in order to get certain things like the level 3 energy modules, and then the rarity 6 dimlet controller control circuit, and that went into making something that's super awesome. And I don't need to go up there anymore because I'll show you anyway. So this is the controller. So you get to basically create entire worlds with RF Tools and RF Tools Dimensions. You can make a world that's all water, that spawns all zombies, that is floating in the sky, but we're already doing that. So all sorts of different things. And you connect this to, do I not have it in here? I forget. Okay. Well, this is what normally gets you there. Anyways, I will just, whoops. I will show you. Dargons, ready for this? This is the thing that I had to farm so many Endermen for, because it's like a super rare drop, and it's purely based on chance and stuff. So, get ready for this. Ready? So this is a... Whoa, no, don't... No! No! Whoa! I'm so glad that I have... all that armor. I would have been dead. Oh, I need to turn that back on. Oh. Oh dear. Oh, the game has crashed. Oh dear. Well, bear with me for a minute here. It's gonna take me just a second to reload it. I think it's because it ran out of energy. So I'll tell you about that, I guess, while it's loading up. The worlds that you create, they require energy to sustain them, basically. So hopefully this will reload. There it is. Okay. And it looks weird, but it'll get bigger as it's loading. But they require energy to maintain them. So basically, it's like you're building a microcosm of a dimension, but you are also responsible for maintaining it because it's machines that create it and run it. So it's like a giant light bulb. Well, this light bulb is also sustaining life. It's building plants and ground and sky, and you saw it was like all stars and stuff, a black universe kind of thing for the sky. You've also got to supply that with energy. So when we get back in, once it actually loads back up after a little bit, I'll show you the system that I have set up, and it's actually built currently off of the big reactor that gives me so much lag because it produces so much energy. But it keeps me filled to whatever amount of energy that I need. I don't have to worry about going over, basically. So you feed it into these machines, and then it sustains it. But as the world starts to run out of energy, it kind of goes dim. It drops down to a lower light level. Everything starts to kind of fade. And you probably actually noticed that there, if you paid attention, how the light just started to dim. And eventually it dies. But unfortunately, and I don't know how much of this is a problem with this mod pack or the mod itself, or maybe something with my computer. I don't know where the problem lies. But when you are in a dimension and it dies, it crashes for me. So it may just be that my computer's not powerful enough. I mean, it's a really good computer. It's not up to specs for like Captain Sparkles or Mumbo or any of those other really big YouTubers, but it's pretty hefty. So let's load back in. Oh crap! Oh crap! It's gonna spawn me back into the. Oh no! I might be in an endless loop here. Dang it! Oh boy. Let's see if I can beat this. I might have to hit a backup. Okay, I made it out. Sweet. Okay, I was worried that I was gonna get in, and then because it was out of energy, I would crash, and all of that over and over and over again. Where... I don't have it in my inventory. So... Oh, I bet... Dargons. Yeah, it has 0 power. That was really stupid of me. So this is the machine that builds and charges dimensions. So yeah, you can see there it takes over 10,000 RF per tick. That's redstone flux. That's just a unit of measurement, like we use watts and such. Okay, so let's show you kind of my energy setup. Try not to look at the reactor as it gets huge and EHK. Okay, so the way I have it set up right now is, I believe, yes, this is set to toggle the reactor on and off, and this is set to detect the energy amount. So while it's below 5%, right in here, while this is down below 5%, the battery level, it turns it on the reactor, and then once it passes 5%, it turns it off. But it generates so much energy immediately, it's just like basically instant restored. So that then sends it over to my system, and that gets dispersed through my capacitor bank and wireless chargers and all that stuff, and then it goes into my Draconic Evolution crystals, so much lag, and disperses it into this eventually, and all the other different kinds of stuff that I need. So that's the dimensions, and that particular one that I was going into that crashed was full of ender dragons. So this is getting into some really late game stuff that's really, really cool. Draconic Fusion. Let's just look up at Draconic Evolution. So these are all the different kind of items that you can get in Draconic Evolution. And it's got armor, it's got weapons, it's got upgrades, it's got energy storage. It's got that mob grinder from earlier that was killing all the Endermen. It's also in my my Wither farm. It kills them as well. All sorts of things. You make most. Whoops. You make most of these things via the crafting injector. So you make some base components in regular crafting, and then you supply this with energy. And let's actually just show you what happens here. Let's grab a full stack, go into there, and that is going to start charging up. Takes it a minute, and then it just takes off. This is a lot faster than you'll see a lot of other people in their worlds because they haven't got theirs set up quite right. It used to take forever for this to charge. It would be like 1%, 2%, 3%. But then I started using the crystals and got them set up and all this power relay, all those lines and stuff. And then it just went nuts. And this draconium block is being turned into awakened draconium blocks, which I need to fill all those dark draconium spaces there for a basically infinite RF storage. So once I do that, I can just fill it up, and then I can dispense with the big reactor. But it hasn't been real high on my priority list. It only does 4 at a time, so that will take quite a while, as you can guess. But I've got actually quite a bit, I think. Yeah, I've got 75 right now. I haven't gone back through and laid them all in yet. It won't get me all the way there. But anyway, this is really cool. You saw how long the, down in the lower left corner, first that green bar went off to the side, I think it was, and then the multicolored bar went down. That's all my energy storage and basically the, like, temporary durability of my armor, I guess you'd say, before I start taking damage. And so that's really, really cool stuff. So that's some of the Draconic Evolution mod, and you can get into that more and more. You can read it on your own or get the pack if you want. I'm doing this through the Twitch launcher. They offer mod packs and such, and it just makes it really easy. It's a couple clicks, self-management. You know, you don't have to go through and edit files, any of that stuff. It's so simple. In their online marketplace, that's actually a lot of the stuff is free. So that's Draconic Evolution and the energy that I'm using. Over here, Tinker's Construct. We talked about this for a little while. This is really, really a cool little mod. This is one of the early ones. I think this was in the Wood Age. Went too far. Saplings, hammer to gravel. Tinker's Construct, yes. So, basically the concept of this, in a nutshell, is you can make this construct here, this, what is this called? What is this? The smeltery. Yeah, the smeltery. And this takes your ores, things like that, or even your ingots or blocks or nuggets, and it melts them down into a fluid. And then you can use them to, say, make bars. That kind of stuff. And then, boop, I got a gold bar. Sweet. You know, you don't have to heat it in a furnace. You can just pipe stuff directly in and out with pipes and all those kinds of things. And I've got, oh my gosh. Oh, right, because I turned it off. There we go. Because I was doing some other stuff. So that's filling up with all those ores and melting them down and nom nom nom. And I should turn those back on. That I can actually, that ported out to where it's supposed to go. So that should have ejected, yeah, basically all that fluid. I've got them set up to automatically craft blocks for me, and then they get sucked out and sent into my storage pipe for home and into my system. So all automated, all really nice and neat. But the other thing that this does is you've also got a furnace for regular smelting that doesn't do all this. So you can do food and things like that in there. Now, you can make these special items, special weapons and armor and things like that. Let's look at some of my axes. Let's take that one and that one. So these have been made inside of Tinker's Construct, and they have special things that they do. Like this one is Silk Touch. You'll notice right down there, Slimy, Momentum, Petramore, Reinforced 2, and Silk Touch. These are different modifiers that you can add to it, and they do different things. But this way, you can add the Silk Touch modifier without having to get lucky by sticking it in an enchanting table. You can make it yourself. Now, it still takes a little while to get, but, you know. And then there's the Cobalt Pickaxe. That one's faster, but it doesn't have, it's because it's got haste on it and luck and such. But it doesn't have the Silk Touch, so those are the two that I keep on hand. all sorts of different items: cobalt, flint and steel, bone. You can make it out of different materials, and they all look different colors and modifications to add different colors and skins and stuff. So that's Tinker's Construct. Really cool little mod. When I first... That is so much stuff that has to be smelted. Oh my gosh. I forgot that I had that turned off because I was doing some stuff, and yeah. It's going to take a while to get through all of that. Thankfully, it has a lot of slots, and it smelts fairly quickly. So, anyway, that's Tinker's Construct. Let's see. Let's do Blood Magic next. So, Blood Magic. This is a really cool, also a really cool mod. This is just an awesome mod pack. Honestly, if you've never played this before or one like it, I highly encourage you to try it. So this lets you do transformation, sort of alchemy kind of things. And let's see, the runes of capacity. This is basically based off of like a life force. So if you are into any kind of, fantasy elves and vampires and things, there's a mystical life essence that is your blood. And I think my wife walked in the door. Cat's flipped out. But you use this in order to create different items and do rituals and things like that, which leads me into this other part of Botania. Once you get so far in Botania, you can actually do a ritual to summon a mini boss called Gaia, or Gaia 2, depending on which level you're running. And Gaia will give you certain items that are really neat, and they'll go into crafting things like the Ring of the Aesir, and it will give you all sorts of, I forget if this doesn't say, yeah, this doesn't list what it has, but all sorts of buffs and stronger and regeneration and that kind of stuff. So right below it, you'll notice I've got these different blocks that are actually from Blood Magic, and I have this set up as the Ritual of Containment. So when I spawn Gaia, if he's within, get how far out it grabs, like maybe this far, give or take, where I'm highlighting, it'll pull him into the center right on top of this beacon, and he'll be stuck there. And so I can just basically sit here and smack him, and smack him, and smack him. Now, it doesn't protect me from him, but it does make it easier because he teleports all over the place and is really hard to nail down and stuff. And then it's also in the middle of these Bellathorns from Botania as well, and they are charged from underneath with some mana pools, which just store a magical energy, and they do damage to mobs within a certain radius. So I've got 4 of those planted around, and they're just set up to hit him and all of the creatures that he spawns and stuff. So Botania at large allows you to automate some things. It's basically like if you took a magical system, think elves basically, a magical system where plants can help you do stuff better. That's this. And so they do different things. Like these are generating flora. These ones take, let me turn that on from underneath so you can see it. They will take items that are flammable, and they'll consume them like that wood. It'll go up, and they'll start generating mana. And that's basically your power to do everything else. I'll turn that back off again because I don't need to generate any mana because those pools are full. Okay. And this is also another kind of generating mana. These take my levels that... Oh. I wonder if every time I log off, or maybe teleport or something. There's something weird with levels, but I'm fine with experience. I never run out. These suck your experience levels out, and they generate mana. And so you can use these to power up, like, let's see, I don't have it in there. Just show you real quick. Stick that away. Looks like Botania. Functional flora. So, like, for instance, the Agricarnation. It turns mana into a type of natural fertilizer, causing nearby plant life to grow at a faster rate. I've got some of these set up by my farm. And lag. And these take that mana that is in the pools, and it makes all these plants grow faster. So, I've got multiple things set up to make these plants, this wheat, grow faster because of my Enderman farm. This fertilized dirt from hatchery with the chickens. That makes it, like, gives random bone meals These growth accelerators increase the tick rate for plants that are planted above them in a vertical line. And then there are the agrocarnations, which make it all grow faster. And I'll go away from there so it stops lagging. Oh, so much nicer. So that's Botania. It does all sorts of different things. It can auto harvest. It can replace hoppers. It can plant. It can feed animals. All these different kinds of things, and really cool system. And that's Mana Spreader. Just moves it from one place to another, basically. So that's Botania. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, let's look at these ones. These are our Void Ore Miner and Void Resource Miner things. I don't really need as much of the resources because that was just to hit the achievement. And now the Ore Miner, I needed to get specific items, so I set that one up at the higher tier. But as long as it can see bedrock, technically, but even though there's no bedrock underneath, it just can't have any non-bedrock blocks obstructing the laser. So you can see when it gets closer, it's just a render problem that it turns off. It doesn't stop functioning, it just stops rendering. So this goes into the void, and it generates, essentially, certain ores that you can use, and those are actually what's being fed into my Tinker's Construct smeltery over there. So it's being smelted and then made into blocks and sent into my system. All automated, all running on power in this same Flux, Redstone Flux network that I've got set up. So, that's that. That bedrock platform, in case you're wondering what that is, that was actually kind of a mistake. I was messing around with something for a later achievement. Where is it? Terrain scanner and regenerating 5 biome chunks. So there's some items that can let you regenerate a biome chunk. It essentially takes the world seed that you have and then it rebuilds a chunk. If you don't know about chunks in Minecraft, basically it's a single block that reaches from bedrock up to the build limit, and this entire chunk, I mean that's why it's called that, will generate all in one piece. So the whole world is made up by these 16 by 16 pieces. I think that's the size of a 16. And so the whole world is just a big checkerboard, and you can rebuild those checkerboard squares with this item, this terrain scanner. And I did it a couple of times over here, tried some stuff, and realized I actually didn't want to do it that way. So I went elsewhere and I did them there, and which I guess I could show you real quick. Let's see, where's it? Rebuilt chunks. There we are. Yeah, so there's my scanner and map and stuff, and I rebuilt a couple of individual chunks. And thankfully, if you're rebuilding, in case you were wondering, if you rebuild deep ocean or anything with water, it will actually segregate that bunch. So it won't overflow because the water, I guess, just drops down or something like that, even though there are source blocks, something. So you don't have to worry about the huge lag, because when you drop liquid in Sky Factory and it goes down into the void, lags. Big time lags. So be very careful about that if you're doing this and you're not on you're not renting a server or you don't have a beefy machine to run it. So yeah, that's all that. Let's go back home. This locator that I'm using is from Draconic Evolution as well. Very nice. It runs on Ender Pearls. I've got 85 Ender Pearls right now. And you can, I think it's infinite storage, near infinite storage anyway. So you can just load it up big time at some point and be done. Ignore it for a while. Okay. Oh, before I move on, I wanted to show you something with Draconic Evolution real quick, because you can automate your crafting in various different kinds of ways. I've just got a really simple setup that's like it's kind of half manual. What am I looking for? Oh, the Yeta wrench. Right, okay. Let's throw that away. One of the forests is using Botania to connect stuff. So flowers to mana spreaders and mana spreaders to pools and stuff. Okay. So, what I have set up here are... Oh my gosh, that is so loud. Weather. Why is weather 100%? I usually have that turned down. That is still super loud. Sounds, weather, let's just... Okay. I guess that's still so stinking loud. 10% ought to be like nothing. Off. What? Wonder if that's actually run through a different... It's not through vanilla Minecraft weather. Maybe that's why it's not turning it down. Okay, well. Anyway, so I have set up right down here in my my refined storage network, which we'll also get to in a little bit, an interface that is set to export items from basically the digital realm into the physical realm. So I have, I don't know if I can. Yes, okay. Maybe I have it to extract down there. Oh no, this is just for importing. That's right. I don't have it for extracting. So I've got it set up where I've got all my dragon hearts here in the middle, which is why, getting back to the dimension, that with ender dragons I needed so many, and the regular method doesn't produce enough. So I just put all my things here, and I can drop an entire stack of draconium blocks. I'll refill it while I'm thinking about it. Right here. And this will look at all of these things for the items it needs in order to craft. And so I've got a redstone clock right down there, if you saw that. Just heading up. Also, you see through here with the redstone conduit, through a conduit facade. And it's just set to run a redstone tick up here every now and then. So it will automatically start the process because this is a manual process. Some different recipes that has all those different weapons and such. But it will start if you feed it a redstone current. So I can just build a bunch of my items here, set an entire stack here, and it will automatically run. Let's see, last time we looked, we had 75. So 135. So that ran, yeah, right about a whole stack. Oh yeah, it probably started at 71 then. So that is how I've got that set, because it has to do so many in order for me to get that. Let's see, now that our world is all charged up and it's continued charging, I have a chunk loader up in this chunk. See, this is inside one chunk, so this way this guy can keep charging even when I'm in a different dimension. Back off, and I will show you, and we won't die this time, the Dargon's dimension. I really should put something. What am I? 8. Okay, at some point I'll have to rebuild the platform. Thing stinks though that the dragons destroy everything. So anyway, yeah, you can see I've got my Dargons. Let's see, let's kill one of them. Ouch. Kill him in no time. No time at all. Oh my gosh, that is loud. Oh my gosh. Down? That's better. Jeez. This is already really quiet. So, as you can see, one Ender Dragon, respawning him, usually takes, with the crystals you can create, and you can craft now, usually takes like every, I don't know, minute and a half, something like that, for one dragon. I just killed 2 in the space of like 25 seconds, if that. So that is why this is so hugely necessary, because it takes 1 dragon heart. Should be getting a second one here. There it is. And then we'll head back home. You need 1 dragon heart for just 4 of those awakened draconium blocks that I'm making over here. So I needed a ton of them, because there's that entire block to fill. So I made the dimension while I did other stuff. I waited on the Enderman to generate and randomize and all that kind of stuff. So, let's see. That's those guys. This is kind of the same thing as the Enderman spawner, but it's just set for zombies. Zombie mob spawner. That was when I was trying to get them for I think mob souls or something like that. Some stuff with blood magic. There. Okay. Okay. And then here is my wither farm. So this is set up so that down here I've got some wither skeleton crops, and these grow wither skeleton essences, which eventually are crafted automatically down there in my bank into wither skeleton skulls, which are then fed up here into this system. And once there are enough, they will go. Probably not any. Anyway, once there are 3 of them, there's one, and then the last one is placed in. What's going to happen is it will start off. If you've ever fought the Wither, you know there's a temporary pause. It kind of builds up its strength, and then it sinks if it's up in the midair, and then eventually it goes boom, and then it comes alive. And in here, I've got this little teleporter set up with Draconic Evolution, and it teleports them down inside this witherproof box. And then back there, I have a mob grinder. And is my thing full? Oh, I never set this up to export the experience points. Geez, I wonder how much experience I've lost to that. There would be, if I was spawning a lot of withers at once, that would be a lot of lag actually because of all the entities on the floor. Anyway, so that's what that is. That's set up so I can get as many nether stars as I want for stuff, as long as I've got the wither skeleton essences, and that takes quite a bit to keep it running. So every now and then it runs out, and then I'll use fertilized essence and stuff and make it go again. That's that. And that I set up hoping that at some point I would be able to find a zombie villager and then transform it back, just in case I felt like trading with him or something. But I haven't bothered to / been able to do that because I've been doing other stuff. It's just a low priority. This was an early generator for Extra Utilities 2, which uses what is it called? Grid power. And that allows you to fly. This chest I set up here before I got my Draconic Evolution stuff with these angel rings that I was able to make. This lets you fly. So this is somewhere up here was my original bed. Or my original spawning point. I don't remember just where, but there were problems with bed, you know. I'm sure if you've played Minecraft for long, you've probably had that happen before, where it says your bed is missing or obstructed, and then it's like, well, okay, where do I spawn you? And it goes back to the default in the world. Well, then it finds the highest place that it can in that block, in that column, and it was always placing me up here. So I would be up here without any armor, and I'd be like, well, what the crap, man? What am I supposed to do? Because that's a long way down. And what I ended up having to do was I just dropped off the side over and over and over again. Because in this mod pack, it has a mod where when you die, it creates a tombstone and a block of dirt if there's nothing for that tombstone to sit on. So I stacked tombstones and blocks of dirt with constant death, time after time, so that until I was able to just pillar down and grab what I needed. So I got sick and tired of that. I made a chest, made some extra rings, and I stuck them in there so that I could fly anytime that I died. But now my stuff is all soulbound, and so that's not going to happen anymore. Let's throw these inside there. Let's show you just real quick the mob grinder, how that's all set up right now. So I have this set up so that the... Wait a minute. Oh yeah, all the lights did. I thought they didn't. So that the lights turn on and off, so it just turns the spawner on and off. And then this turns the fans on and off. So right now they can run wherever they want. But turn that on, it squishes them all over here. And then little Killer Joe can nail him with all the swords that I gave him. Which are super cheap because diamond chickens. But anyway, I usually leave that off because at this point I don't really need it anymore. But anything that is is hit by him is collected, and you've seen these a couple other places around if you paid attention, like underneath the Wither farm. These absorption hoppers, so they'll pick up items and experience. Awesome stuff. And then that can be exported in here and transported down into this experience obelisk. This is where all the magic happens for my experience. I mentioned I don't have any trouble with experience. You notice I've got 182 or 3. I think it's 8. Weird colors. And so, retrieve 10 levels. It's like 6, 8. It's crazy. And I've got 146 levels already. So, yeah. I am never going to be for need of levels. And up here's a thing where I could automatically fill the blood magic altar with mobs over here if I decided to turn this on, for instance. Got 2 lights. I didn't connect them together. Just kind of lazy about it. But this would do the same thing. It would collect any experience points that was there, and it would ship it off to there because that is an ender tank. And so if you're familiar with the ender chest, anything that's put into it is also in any identical chest or tank around the world. And this is with another thing that adds an alternate form of ender chests, because the original ones, the vanilla ender chests, can't use pipes, these item pipes, which are so awesome. They move stuff in and out of storage items automatically, and I cannot tell you how wonderful these are with their different channels that you can turn them on. You can set them to in and out, just in, or turn them off completely, or change them with redstone. So amazing. So the other ender chests allow you to do that, and you can set them on different channels by putting dyes on these 3 buttons. This is a light blue, cyan, maybe, whatever color that is, and lime green, I believe. So you can set that channel and do things like this, where it only transports what you want, and oh, it is all of the things. Now I have a ton of these that actually I don't actually know what I'm going to do with these now because I don't need them. It's just come out. Yeah. All of these things. There's probably an easier way. They're not all the same, so I can't just double click and stuff all of them out, but throw them off into the void. And yeah, these compressed flesh blocks make you walk slower. So, but they looked cool. Flesh and bone kind of stuff. This last layer is for the last tier. I don't think that it's possible to get the last blocks. It's been a while since I looked at it. The achievements only require you to go up through this level with the beacons. But anyway, yeah. Okay. Okay, so my storage system, where all the lag is. So this takes all your items and it makes them digital. Amazing stuff. And these use disk drives. So individual disks of various sizes. So I can show you that. Disk. You can do fluid storage or regular storage for items. And of 4 sizes, 1, 4, 16, and 64K kilobytes for those of you. And then you put them into housing, and you get all of these. So these are maxed out, 2 full sets, and that one I don't think has anything. Yeah, it's completely empty. Because this one kept filling up and emptying out based on my needs and my uses. And this one. So I've got actually 3 stacks, don't I? Yeah, of disk drives. So I set up that one so that I didn't have to worry about the whole system just shutting down and being like, I can't do anything. And yeah, that's the controller. It's the brain that turns on and supplies energy to everything. These are my crafters where, like, when essences come in, let's see if we can find one with essence. Yeah, there we go. Wither skeleton skulls. But why are there I don't know why there are stones in here. Okay, I'll have to fix that later. Anyway, they combine them in a preset recipe, and then it is set to go to the exterior buffer so that it goes out and is sucked back into the system. but it remembers what position there is. So if I take these out, it's like only Wither Skeleton essences can fill that spot. It's really nice stuff. So anyway, whole bank of these. If I play through this again, I'm going to need a lot more space for these guys and these guys, which take patterns and recipes to auto-craft items for me. Because if you need a lot of high-tier stuff that requires a lot of low-tier stuff, like the discs, like these guys, I can craft these automatically, say how many I want. But these require, oh my gosh, let me just show you real quick. So you have to make 1K storage parts, okay? And then for a storage disk, it requires that. But if you want 4K storage parts, you need 3 of those. If you want 6K storage parts, you need 3 of those. 64K storage parts, you need 3 of those. So you can imagine how many of these 1K storage parts you're going to be building if you're making a single 64K storage disk. So it's a lot easier just to set up patterns and let it do the work for you. Just say, I want 5 of these. And then it'll sit and run through the whole processes and all digitally with its internal storage. And it will do it for you so much easier. So I will have to make an entire wall ready for these guys and for these guys because space. And then we got different things, random things for like a enchanter. You can pick what kind of enchantments you want and stuff. My anvil, tinker's table for mystical agriculture. More stuff for extra utilities. Ultimate furnace. Let me show you this real quick. This is awesome. Let's go grab some of those ores. Oh, wow! It is working through the last of them. I'll just grab one of these, so you can see just how awesome fast this. Wicked. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Boom. How awesome is that? That is all smelted instantly, practically instantly. It'll burn through a stack in a full stack of 64 anything in maybe, I don't know, 0.3 seconds, something like that. So I've got it set so that certain items, as they come into the system, they'll automatically smelt into the bars that I need. And I need to make more mini coals. But anyway, let's throw those away. And I don't need 20. I'll hold on to it just in case. Oh, but I want to get rid of that guy. Oh, and the ender chests, you can also make ender pouches so that if you are traveling, you can access ender chests. But in my case, that goes into the system and the system buffers, which I will now show you. So remember earlier, I told you this guy lets me take things in and put things out if I want to. And I was using that to put things in from my crafted items up there. Okay, so physical to digital. This is a very important concept. And you will now see my solution. Boom. So these large storage crates are quite large. And this is my input side. So all my farms, everything that's being smelted, all of these things are feeding into this one. And then it gets sucked up into my refined storage system, the digital side of things, and via these importers. On the other side, if I need things to go out, like say to my crafters up here, all these guys. So I want to export all of my cyanide ingots that I get. Maybe I'm smelting them from, that auto smelting from that furnace over there that's super fast. Well, that furnace will then put it into the system. The system will then export it into one of these crates, and one of these crates will use the pipes underneath to then send it to this one, to here. And it'll put all the cyanide in here, and then it will export a block, and that will go into the system. All automatically. And all thanks to these wonderful ender chests and my item buffers with these large storage crates. This is absolutely amazing. If you do this mad pack at all, you have to do this, because it will make your life so much easier. So much easier. Now, I wish that there was an item that would remember, kind of like up here. If you recall just now, I said that you can take out an item, a stack of items, but it'll remember what was in that spot. So only lapis can go into that spot. I don't know if it will go straight in. Yeah, it'll go into that spot. So this spot is empty. This spot is empty, but nothing except for blaze powder can go in here. Nothing but congealed blood can go into here. And if they had an item that worked as an input-output, just a straight-up storage system that remembered these things, oh, that would be so awesome. I have yet to find one in this mod pack, though. I've tried so many things, and they don't work. Like the crafters don't work because item pipes can't pull out of here. They have to pull out of here. But to get here, they have to go through a recipe. And if I just want to put in and take out, that doesn't work. So if you have any thoughts on this, if you've played this mod pack before, you know a block that would work for me, let me know in the comments, because I would love to have something that I can use to replace these with that can actually have a decent amount of storage space. It doesn't even have to be that huge, but if all of it was, you know, like this much storage, I think that's even less than a traditional chest. I would be okay with that if I could assign every single one to remember something different. I'd be okay with that. But unfortunately, I can't. So as it sits, the problem with these ones, since you can't define them, is if you're exporting a lot of something, it can clog it up. So like if I have, oh, let's see, I've got this sorted by 60.7 thousand blocks of quartz I have right now. If I wanted to export blocks of quartz, and I set it to output to this one here, well, how many stacks is that? It would immediately fill up this entire thing. Nothing else could be exported from my system in order to go anywhere. So that's one of the big downsides to this style of import-export buffers. Even the Ender IO item buffers can't remember what was where. So, like, yeah, it just replaced it with stone. So that's kind of sad. But it is what it is. Those items running everywhere. As you are doing stuff in the world, if you need water or lava, I found a really nice little system that will export water or lava directly into a tank, and then that tank will export straight into, it'll push straight into the ender tank, which then is magically the same as anywhere else in the world. So like right here, this is always filled up from my my system because I have lava chickens laying lava eggs. And so I will never run out. There it is. I got 45, almost 46,000. I need to actually dump a lot of those out, but I've got lots of storage space. So, and that is just about everything, I think. Obviously, there's so much more I could go through, but I just wanted to show you guys my world because this is a teeny tiny big reactor that I don't use very much anymore. That was my first one. But this is just about everything that, you know, really wanted to show you. And I've got just a couple of achievements left, and then this entire thing is done. I've got 4 left. Fill a quantum storage unit with anything. Craft the rainbow generator and use it to produce power. That one is going to be crazy. Absolutely crazy. Of course, this is the Age of Insanity. And then produce 1 billion RF per tick. Again, crazy, but doable. And then craft a single octuple compressed cobblestone block. So compressed is 9 cobblestone, double compressed is 9 compressed cobblestone, and so on and so forth. And that gets to be so many. This is where I have my, because I guess I saw in another video somebody said that these actually also cause lag as they're generating and transporting. So I have, let's see, 98,051,52,000, 53,000 cobblestone. That's how fast all this stuff is generating. And I think this thing holds like 2 billion. And I'm at 98 million right now. This is going to take stinking forever to fill up. I could expand this to have so many more cobblestone generators. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that because that will generate so much faster. But it looks like Wall-E or something. But yeah, so I'm almost done with this, and I'm thinking after I finish it, I might go ahead and do a playthrough and do a series on it. But let me know in the comments what you think. If you'd like to see that, let me know. I might mess around with doing it live. I might also mix in perhaps doing it partially live and then edited down to short episodes. I don't know. It does take a while to edit stuff, so that's my biggest concern is just having the time to do that, to do the editing after playing on top of life, which is a lot of stuff. So, well, I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I hope that you found this maybe informative. If you decide to do one of these sometime, oh, the frame rate is back. This feels so nice now. So much higher frame rate. I miss the early days of playing because I didn't have that nasty booger sapping all of my frames. Even just looking at it from this distance, you can tell it's jittery. Whereas out here, this is quite a bit smoother. Quite a bit smoother, so... This guy's so pretty. So pretty. Oh yeah, that was where I did my dragon stuff. Okay, well, if you enjoyed, just leave a like if you liked, and subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. I hope to be getting back into YouTube and doing some more stuff in the near future, even though I have been away for such a very long time. Oh! Can I reorder these? Oh, no, I'm voiding those. Oh, no. Oh, no. I just voided a lot of stuff. Well, it's not like I'm hurting for it, I guess. Yeah, that's why that one's empty. Because that's taken such a long time. Well, leave a like if you liked, and subscribe if you want to see more. Let me know down in the comments what you thought. And if you are indeed interested in seeing a Let's Play of this series. So, I will see you all next time. Bye!